The January transfer window is almost here, and while some moves are expected, there are rumors circulating that could absolutely shake the football world. Today, we're diving into 10 transfers that would send shockwaves through the sport. Trust me, some of these will blow your mind. Let's kick things off with a player who's already made waves this year. Marcus Rashford joined Barcelona on loan in the summer after falling out with Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. And he's been absolutely electric with 6 goals and 9 assists. But here's where it gets interesting. Barcelona's sporting director Deco has confirmed there won't be any signings in January, and they're not triggering Rashford's by option. Arsenal are reportedly monitoring his situation, and if Barcelona can't make it permanent, we could see a bidding war in the summer. Imagine Rashford in an Arsenal shirt at the Emirates. Now that would be a statement signing that nobody saw coming when he left Manchester. This one's absolutely massive. Vinicius Jr.'s relationship with Real Madrid coach Xabi Alonso has completely deteriorated after the Brazilian reacted angrily to being substituted in El Clasico. We're talking about one of the world's best players potentially leaving the Bernabeu, folks. Contract negotiations have been stalled for months, and there's now a scenario where talks don't resume until after the 2026 World Cup. Multiple Premier League clubs, including Liverpool and Manchester United, are keeping tabs on his situation. The thought of Vinicius in the Premier League? That would be the transfer of the decade. Real Madrid losing their superstar would send absolute shockwaves through football. You've probably heard whispers about this one. Bournemouth's Antoine Semenyo has a £65 million release clause active in January, and he's been on fire with 6 goals in 11 Premier League games. Manchester City could trigger that clause as they desperately need someone to share the goal-scoring burden with Erling Haaland. But here's the kicker. Tottenham, Liverpool, and even Manchester United are all circling. The shock factor? If United somehow convinced him to join their rebuild over Champions League football with City or Liverpool, that would be absolutely wild. Comment below which club you think lands Semenyo. This is the absolute nuclear bomb of the January window. After being benched for 3 consecutive matches, Mohamed Salah declared he feels like Liverpool has thrown him under the bus following the Leeds draw. His relationship with Arne Slot has completely broken down, and the superstar said it seems like someone doesn't want me in the club. Now here's where it gets crazy. Saudi Pro League sources have confirmed they're prepared to put together a mind-blowing contract offer. We're talking around £150 million per year, making him one of the highest-paid players in the world alongside Cristiano Ronaldo. Both Al Ittihad and Al Hilal are interested, and they're ready to make room in their foreign player quotas. The shock isn't just that Salah might leave Liverpool. It's that it could happen in January. After that explosive interview where he questioned the club's treatment of him, a mid-season exit has gone from impossible to very realistic. Can you imagine Liverpool trying to compete for the title without their best player? That would send absolute shockwaves through world football. Barcelona need a long-term replacement for 37-year-old Robert Lewandowski, and according to reports, Inter Milan's Lautaro Martinez has become a key target. With 163 goals from 352 inter-appearances, his record speaks for itself. But here's where it gets interesting and potentially risky. Martinez has spent his entire 7.5 years at Inter playing in a strike partnership. First alongside Mauro Icardi, then Romelu Lukaku, then Edin Dzeko, and now Marcus Thuram. He's always had a bigger striker next to him acting as the focal point. At Barcelona, he'd need to be the main man in a lone striker system. The question Barcelona must ask themselves: can Martinez lead the line on his own at the Camp Nou? He's proven himself in Serie A's 3-5-2 formation, but adapting to Barcelona's style, where he'd be isolated up front with wingers creating for him. That's a completely different challenge. If Barcelona go all in on this transfer and it doesn't work out, it could be one of the most expensive miscalculations in their recent history. It's a massive gamble, and whether it pays off or backfires spectacularly, it would definitely be one of the most talked about moves of the window. Here's a plot twist nobody expected. Despite Fabrizio Romano linking United with Wolves' João Gomez, Tier 1 sources at The Athletic have completely shut down those rumors. Journalist Laurie Whitwell confirmed United won't be pursuing Gomez meaningfully in January. So, where does that leave the Red Devils? Their actual targets are Elliot Anderson, Adam Wharton, and Carlos Baleba. The really interesting part? Brighton's asking price for Baleba has reportedly dropped from over £100 million to around £75 million due to his poor form this season. United already have personal terms agreed with a player from last summer. The shock would be if United actually pulled off a deal for any of these midfielders in January, especially after all the noise around Gomez. It shows how quickly transfer narratives can change. One week, you're the hottest target. The next week, the club isn't even interested. Who actually lands at Old Trafford remains to be seen, but don't believe everything you read, folks. Remember when everyone thought Ivan Toney was done with European football? The former Brentford striker has been linked with a January loan move back to the Premier League to boost his England chances before the 2026 World Cup. Tottenham, managed by his former Brentford boss Thomas Frank, are reportedly leading the race. But wait, there's a plot twist. Al Ahly's director has shut down all speculation, insisting Toney won't be leaving in January. And here's why it might not happen. Toney earns almost £1 million per week in Saudi Arabia, making any loan deal extremely complicated. The shock would be if he actually took that massive pay cut to return. Would you do it? Let us know in the comments. Speaking of Saudi Arabia exits, this one's a proper throwback story. Jose Mourinho is reportedly trying to persuade Karim Benzema to join Benfica, with a pair having worked together previously. Benzema's contract expires in June 2026, and according to reports, he's not planning to extend his Al Ittihad deal. Now, Benzema returning to Europe at 37 years old would be shocking enough. But imagine if Real Madrid came calling for a sentimental return instead? The French legend helping manage minutes during the business end of the season? It's not impossible. In football, stranger things have happened. What do you reckon? Benfica, Madrid, or somewhere else entirely? Young Brazilian talent Endrick has barely played at Real Madrid, and he needs game time. The Wonder Kid has reportedly given his representatives 2 months to find a club if his situation doesn't change, with loan moves being explored. Lyon seems like the obvious destination, right? Wrong. Word on the street is Stuttgart has quietly entered the race. Their technical director has connections with top managers, and they've got a stellar reputation for developing young talent. If Endrick ends up in the Bundesliga instead of League One, that would definitely raise some eyebrows. The kid needs minutes to make Brazil's World Cup squad, so wherever he lands, expect fireworks. With all the Vinicius drama and Endrick likely leaving on loan, Real Madrid might actually need reinforcements. Remember when we said Benzema might return? Well, that's not as crazy as it sounds when you consider Madrid's current situation. They've got Mbappe, sure, but rotation and experience could be crucial. The really shocking move? If they went all in for someone like Erling Haaland or even made a surprise swoop for a Premier League striker. Madrid in crisis mode in January would create absolute chaos in the transfer market. Keep your eyes on this one. There you have it, 10 potential moves that could shake up the January transfer window. From Vinicius potentially leaving Madrid to Rashford's uncertain future. From Saudi stars eyeing returns to surprise moves nobody sees coming. This winter could be absolutely mental. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss our transfer updates. Hit that notification bell too. January is going to be wild and you don't want to miss a single moment. Let's see which of these actually happen. See you in the next one.